Hi everyone! Welcome back to my channel, and for those of you who are new, welcome. My name is Ria, and in today's video, I'm going to be showing you my top 5 favorite foundations. I got this idea from one of my subscribers. Her name is Jenna. Hi Jenna! In one of her comments, she mentioned that she would like to hear what my favorite bronzers, highlighters, blushes are. So I decided to start a new series on my channel. I'm going to be calling it my Fave 5. If you didn't know, 5 is my lucky number, so I'm going to start off with foundations. So if you'd like to see what my favorite foundations are, then please continue to watch. I'm going to start with this one. This is my all-time favorite foundation, and it is the Nars All Day Luminous Weightless Foundation. It is in the shade Stromboli, medium 3, and this foundation matches me perfectly in the summertime. I have a really hard time finding foundations that match my skin tone because I have a lot of yellow in my skin, as you can see. And so most of the foundations I'm going to mention today don't actually match me perfectly, but I do mix them to get my perfect shade. And this one right here matches me perfectly in the summer. So this foundation comes with a pump, and the coverage I would say is medium, but you can definitely build it up to full coverage. The finish of the foundation is a satin finish, but it's very slightly matte. Depending on the primer that you use underneath and if you really moisturize your skin or not, it's gonna depend on the coverage that you get. This foundation has an amazing lasting power. It usually lasts me 8 to 10 hours, and I don't even wear a primer on a day-to-day basis, and this foundation will literally last me from when I leave my house in the morning to when I get home in the evening, and it's usually around 8 to 10 hours. And they do have a very wide shade selection, so that's definitely to its credit. I absolutely love this foundation, as I mentioned, and my favorite way to apply this foundation is with a beauty sponge. I feel like with a brush, the foundation can look a little bit dry when you apply it, but with a beauty sponge, it looks absolutely beautiful, and it literally will last you the entire day. So again, this is the All Day Luminous Weightless Foundation from Nars, and this is hands down my favorite foundation. The next foundation, or foundations, that I'm going to mention are from the drugstore, and they are these two right here. I'm going to be talking about them together because I use the Maybelline Fit Me Matte and Poreless in the summertime, and I use the Maybelline Fit Me Hydrate and Smooth in the wintertime. So that's the reason why I'm going to talk about them together. So this counts as one. I have the shade 220 for my winter shade, and I have the shade 310 for my summer shade. I absolutely love these two foundations. They are from the drugstore, and although they don't match me perfectly, I will mix a little bit of the Nars Sheer Glow foundation just to get that yellowness into the foundation. And I pretty much will never wear these alone because of the fact that they're too neutral on my skin tone. But once I mix a little bit of this guy in, which this foundation is a really nice foundation, however, I haven't really worn it on its own in a very long time. I usually typically will mix it in with these two. So I don't consider this to be one of my favorite foundations anymore. I love it as a mixer, but as a standalone foundation, I think I like this one in the wintertime because in the summertime, it doesn't last very well on me. And for reference, I don't think I even mentioned this, I have normal skin. In the summertime, I get a little bit oily, and in the wintertime, I get a little bit dry. So just for reference. And these two foundations, I find they last a really long time on the skin. They usually last me about 8 to 10 hours as well. And I don't feel like I don't really touch up anyway, but I don't feel like I have to touch up or anything like that. Like I said, I tend to use the matte and poreless in the summertime because the Hydrate and Smooth in the summertime doesn't last as long on me. I would say I get about 5 to 6 hours of wear out of this one. And again, I never wear a primer. That's just not my thing. So I want a foundation to last on me all day without a primer. The coverage of these foundations is again medium, but they can definitely be built up to full coverage. And this one has a more natural to dewy finish, where this one has a more matte finish. I wouldn't say that this is a full matte. I would say that it's a natural to slightly matte finish. So again, these come in a pretty good shade selection, and I prefer to apply these with a beauty sponge, especially the matte and poreless. This one I definitely would apply with a beauty sponge. The Hydrate and Smooth, you can get away with a brush, and if I'm in a hurry, I will use a brush with the Hydrate and Smooth, but this one I would definitely recommend using a beauty sponge with. Next one I'm going to talk about is very expensive, but I do really like this one, and I think that this one is probably my second favorite foundation. This is the Giorgio Armani Luminous Silk Foundation, and I have the shade 6.5. This one matches me pretty well in the summertime, and I do mix a little bit of the Sheer Glow in, so this one, if it's not matching me, but this one matches me pretty well in the summer. This one has a medium coverage. I wouldn't say that it's a buildable to full coverage, because even when you build it up, I feel like it looks very natural on the skin. It doesn't really build to a full coverage, but for the most part, I pretty much wear all my foundations up to a medium coverage. I very rarely will build them up to full, so I just prefer a more skin-like look, and so I don't typically go for that completely flawless finish. The coverage on this again is medium, and it has a more dewy finish, so it's satin to dewy, and there is a really wide range of shades for this one. I prefer to wear this one in the wintertime, because in the summertime I don't feel like it lasts that long on me. In the summertime I feel like it lasts around 6 hours, I would say, without completely wearing off. It doesn't wear off like in an ugly way. It wears off very gracefully, I guess you could say. So I do really enjoy this foundation. It does have a very strong smell, so if you've ever used it, I'm sure you know that it smells pretty strong. And with this one, I like using it with a brush if I want a fuller coverage, and I like using it with a sponge if I want a more light skin-like finish. So absolutely love this one, and I would highly recommend it. Up next is the Urban Decay Naked Skin Foundation. This one is in the shade 6. This foundation has a really nice satin finish to slightly matte. The coverage on it is definitely a medium, and you can definitely build it up to full, but with this one I think it looks best when you just build it to medium. The foundation lasts forever, and it literally looks like you have nothing on your skin. It's very weightless, and it is so beautiful. The only thing that sucks about this foundation is that it's too neutral for my skin. So this one, I again cannot wear this on its own. I'll either mix in a little bit of the All Day Luminous foundation, or I'll mix in a little bit of the Sheer Glow foundation. So it depends on my mood and what my skin's feeling like. This one I would wear mostly in the summertime, because it can tend to look a little bit dry on the skin when I wear it in the wintertime. So I do typically only wear this in the summer, which is why I have such a dark shade. This one I like to apply with a brush or a sponge. It looks beautiful both ways, and this one lasts very long on the skin. It has a pretty good shade selection, but again, the shades are very neutral in my opinion, and I don't think that they have a lot of yellowness to them. So again, love this foundation. I would definitely recommend this one. And last but not least, in this Fave 5 foundations is the Milani Conceal Perfect foundation in the shade 6, Sand Beige. This foundation is amazing. This is definitely a medium to full coverage foundation. Definitely more on the full coverage side. This foundation is very inexpensive. I got it at Walmart for like 12 bucks. It has a beautiful finish. It comes in an okay shade range. There's not that many at Walmart. I don't know if it has more online, but at Walmart I didn't see that many shades, maybe like 8. The finish of this foundation is definitely, I would say, a satin to slightly dewy finish. It definitely does not look matte on me at all. The foundation lasts so long, like over 10 hours. And again, I do not wear any primer, but I do always set all of my foundations. This foundation I prefer in the summertime because of its lasting power and because it is a little bit thicker of a foundation. So in the wintertime, I do feel like it can tend to look slightly cakey on me if I'm not careful. I never apply this foundation with a brush because I feel like with a brush, for me the coverage is just a little too much. And because it's like a sticky kind of formula, I feel like it sticks in the brush and it leaves streaks. So this one I would only recommend to use a sponge with it. And one more thing I want to mention about this foundation is that this one oxidizes like crazy, like a good shade and a half to 2 shades. And I pretty much never wear this one on my own because the shade 7 doesn't really match me. I should really pick up 5, but I have this, so I just mix it in with my favorite mixer, the Sheer Glow, and it looks absolutely stunning. I wouldn't recommend to use this. It's a Conceal Perfect foundation, and I wouldn't recommend to use it underneath the eyes because it does tend to crease quite a bit because it's a bit of a thicker formula. So again, absolutely love this one and would highly recommend it. That is it for my Fave 5 foundations. I hope you found this video helpful and interesting. If you have any questions, please do leave it in the comment section down below. And if you'd like to see other videos from me, please let me know. I would really appreciate it. And I will see you guys in my next one. Bye!